Who is Jack Crusher? Junior. This one.
Who I am doesn't matter.
With all the speculation and rumor running rampant around the third season of Star Trek Picard, it seems like the one reveal that almost everyone took for granted was the true lineage of Ed Speleer's character. It comes as no surprise then, when in episode 2, it was all but confirmed that he was indeed playing the son of not only Beverly Crusher, as already revealed, but of Jean-Luc Picard as well. Well, it's probably easy to take this at face value and move along, figuring that JL and BC hooked up soon after Nemesis before parting ways. I don't think we can leave it at that. You see, there have been some clues dropped throughout the 2 episodes we've already seen. Clues that may indicate that there is more than meets the eye, and no, I don't actually mean that he's a Transformer. I believe that everything we know so far is true, but that's just the beginning of the story. Jack really is the biological child of Beverly and Jean-Luc. He was most likely conceived in the normal manner shortly after the events of Nemesis. But ask yourself this: why would this simple act lead to a Beverly who left everyone and everything that she knew? There has to be a bigger reason. A reason that explains, at least partially, why everyone might now be hunting her son. It is my belief that everything started, in the way most things do, with Dr. Crusher through medicine. As a doctor, she would be well aware of many possible ailments or problems that her child may face, and I have to imagine it would have been pretty standard practice to give the unborn child a bit of a health screening or genetic scan, whatever fancy late 24th century stuff they have going on. It would also be fairly well known to her that Jean-Luc was carrying a gene that increases the likelihood of developing some pretty nasty side effects.
Cause you to be susceptible to several kinds of neurological disorders, including Irumodic syndrome.
The Irumodic syndrome that played a rather major part in the TNG finale, All Good Things. While the future of that episode was obviously changed, that doesn't negate everything. This ailment did inevitably catch up with Picard in Season 1, and ultimately it ended his organic life. You may also want to throw in his genetic disposition for depression and mental health issues as displayed by the story of Picard Season 2. But if you choose to forget all about that, I am absolutely not going to stand in your way.
A door?
One of the final things our All Good Things Dr. Crusher says to Picard is how she will not rest until she finds a solution to this syndrome. Now, I see 2 possible branching points here, so first let me address the one I don't believe will turn out to be the case. She may well have created the young Picard as a non-living clone in an attempt to find a cure to bring back to Jean-Luc. In a similar manner to that episode of Enterprise where they cloned Trip, only to develop true connections to that clone. This could also happen here. She is careless, allows the research to fully develop into a child, and she must now live with those consequences. The second path, and the one I most certainly prefer, is that she had Jack as normal, but discovered that he carried the genetic markers to cause a problem down the line. Perhaps she found more faults due to the older age of both she and Picard at the time of, creation, let's say. Regulations and legalities be damned, I believe that Beverly would do everything within her power to correct these issues in order to have the healthiest son possible. The only way to do this would be through genetic tweaks and manipulation. In essence, she may have been forced to turn her unborn son into some form of augment. I also think that it could be plausible that she spliced in some DNA from her deceased husband Jack to not only correct some of these genetic defects, but to potentially provide more of a full brother to Wesley. This is clearly just speculation based upon her naming the child Jack, and the fact that we distinctly saw his old briefcase on full display in the premiere episode. As we know, the Federation does not take too kindly to genetically engineered individuals.
For every Julian Bashir that can be created, there's a Khan Singh waiting in the wings. The law against genetic engineering provides a firewall against such men.
Thanks a lot, Khan. So this would provide way more than enough reason for Beverly to pack up her life and head out to the fringes of UFP space. She couldn't risk the life of her child, but neither could she risk the involvement of her former friends and the father of her child if the ugly truth were to come out. She, in essence, became
a fugitive.
But the lawless and chaotic edges of civilized space would not be an ideal place to raise a baby, especially not when you are doing so on your own and are in need to both make a living and stay alive. This leads to a solution to another problem I have yet to address: the age of Jackie Boy. You see, there have only been 24 years or so of in-universe time since the end of Nemesis to the current day of Picard Season 3. Assuming Jack was conceived as soon as possible, he would only have a chance of being around 23 years old. While this may not seem like a big deal, the actor who plays him is 34. This may not pose an issue. Actors routinely play wildly inconsistent ages, but I feel like the dire state of the Crusher's survival would leave Beverly to devise a more immediate solution. Since she was already deep down the rabbit hole of genetic manipulation, why not speed up the aging process?
Make the monster growl!
We've seen this done in many different occasions throughout Trek, so why not here? Jack could have developed quite rapidly and turned from a liability and a safety hazard into a much-needed ally and partner. As to why Jack may have suddenly become such a target, I'm not really sure. Perhaps someone has discovered his true heritage and wishes to use this against Jean-Luc Picard. Maybe his genetic augmentation went so well that he is harder, better, faster, stronger. Maybe the Irumodic syndrome was not really a weakness at all. Perhaps it's an evolutionary trait that, once fully unlocked, allows humanity to begin transcending into something more. Heck, maybe combining the Crusher genes which produced a Traveler in West, combined with the Irumodic genes of Picard, truly kicked things into gear. This part is all just wild speculation, but isn't it fun to actually feel like these things matter again? At the end of the day, what do you think of this idea? Who do you think Jack Crusher truly is? Is he more than meets the eye, or simply just the long-lost son between two estranged old friends? As always, let me know what you think below, and while you're down there, go ahead and look around for that like button. I seem to have misplaced it, so if you do find it, please go ahead and give it a click so I know where it is. But until next time...
Some relationships just can't work.
Yeah, probably true.